All right, today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to break down a specific online business model by digging into one of these huge done for you digital products. We're looking at the sales page for something called the Christmas Coloring PLR bundle to really figure out what the business opportunity is here. So let's jump right in. So, this is how they hook you, right? The whole pitch kicks off with this question. And you can immediately see who they're talking to. Etsy sellers, people publishing their own books on Amazon. It's really zeroing in on a super common pain point. Making holiday content from scratch takes forever. I mean, it's a huge time sink, especially when you're trying to stand out in a really crowded market. Okay, so here's the game plan for this explainer. We'll touch on the problem they're trying to solve, then we'll unbox the bundle to see what's inside. After that, we'll get into the earning potential, how they say you can sell it, and finally, we'll cover the license and, of course, the price. All right, so moving from the problem to the solution. The way this thing is pitched, it's not just a bunch of pictures in a folder. No, it's framed as a whole, ready-to-go business package. The whole idea is that it's the answer to that content creation headache we just talked about. And this quote right here, this is the heart of it. The promise is super simple. It's all about efficiency. The idea is, why spend hours and hours designing when you can get an instant library of stuff? It's all about speed, getting your products up and selling like yesterday. Okay, so let's get to the good stuff. What are you actually getting inside this bundle? The marketing goes hard on the sheer volume, the huge amount of content you get. So let's break it down and look at the numbers. The big flashy number is this one, over 4,000 Christmas-themed coloring pages. Wow. I mean, that's the main event, right? This is supposed to be the foundation for all kinds of different products you could dream up. The sheer scale of it, that's obviously the main selling point here. And look, it's not just 4,000 pages of the same old snowman. The bundle promises a ton of variety. We're talking 33 different categories. You get your classic stuff like Santas and elves, but also more niche things like cute kawaii characters and those intricate festive mandalas. And that variety is really key, right? It lets you target all sorts of different customers. But wait, there's more. The bundle doesn't just stop with the coloring pages. To really boost the perceived value, they throw in some pretty significant bonuses too. Yeah, so the whole thing is padded out with these three main bonuses. First up, you get 500 activity pages, like mazes, dot-to-dots, that kind of stuff. Then, and this is a big one, 650 book covers. That solves a huge headache if you're trying to self-publish. And finally, 100 clip art images you can use for other merch. Each of these bonuses is basically another tool in your toolbox to create even more stuff to sell. Now, for anyone who's actually thinking about using these, the tech specs are super important. So the pages are 8.5 by 11 inches. That's pretty much the perfect size for Amazon KDP. You get them in different formats like JPEG, PNG, and PDF, which gives you a lot of flexibility. And they're high resolution, 300 dpi, which just means they're going to look crisp and clean when they're printed out. Okay, so we've seen what you get. Now, the big question is, how are you supposed to actually make money with all this stuff? And that brings us to the business model that makes this whole thing tick, something called private label rights, or PLR. So yeah, PLR, private label rights. What is that? Basically, it's a license that says you can take content someone else made, slap your own brand on it, maybe tweak it a bit, and then sell it as if you made it yourself, and you get to keep 100% of the profits. It's a huge shortcut to having a product to sell. But, and this is a big but, if it's a shortcut for you, it's also a shortcut for every single other person who buys this exact same bundle. The sales page then gives you a bunch of ideas on where you could sell these things. You could package them into coloring books for Amazon KDP, you could sell single printable pages on Etsy, or you could even sell them on your own website through something like Shopify. The model isn't locked into one platform, which is cool because you have options. But it also means you could be running into competitors using the exact same stuff on all those different platforms. And of course, this whole thing hinges on the idea that there's a huge demand for this stuff. The sales page claims there's this built-in audience of parents, teachers, gift shoppers, all of them supposedly already online searching for these exact kinds of products. So the pitch is that you're tapping into a market that's already there and waiting. So to make this whole thing feel super easy and not at all intimidating, the marketing boils it all down to a simple 3-step plan. Let's walk through what they suggest. Okay, step 1. Get the bundle. Easy enough, you just download everything. Step 2 is customization, and it's interesting they mark this as optional. That means you can just repackage what's there, or you can get creative and make something new. And then step 3, sell and earn. You just upload your creations to Amazon or Etsy. It's definitely positioned as this super easy path to getting started. But, that sell and earn step, that's where the real work of marketing and actually finding customers begins. All right, let's get down to the nitty-gritty, the stuff everyone needs to know before clicking buy. What are the rules and what's the price? The license is pretty black and white. Here are the do's and don'ts. You can edit the stuff, rebrand it, and sell it. You cannot just give it away for free. And this is a big one, you can't resell it with the same PLR rights. That's a really important point. You're supposed to be selling the finished product to a customer, not selling the business in a box to another seller. And here's the pricing. They show a real price of $109, but then they have this limited time offer for just $17. This is classic marketing 101, right? It's all about creating urgency and making you feel like you're getting an amazing deal. And last but not least, the refund policy. They are crystal clear on this. All sales final. No refunds. The way they justify it is by calling the purchase an asset acquisition. Their logic is, since you can't really return a digital file you've downloaded, they can't offer a refund. So, to wrap it all up, here's a quick look at the whole package. The huge main chunk is those 4,000 plus coloring pages, and that's beefed up by the 3 bonuses, the activity pages, the covers, and the clip art. It's all designed to be this complete toolkit for creating digital products. And all this really leads to a bigger question, doesn't it? This bundle is just one example of this massive trend we're seeing. So, are these huge, done-for-you digital assets, these business-in-a-box kits, are they the new blueprint for starting an online side hustle? I mean, it for sure lowers the barrier to entry. Anyone can get started. But like we said, it doesn't just magically solve the hard parts. The marketing, trying to stand out, and competing against a flood of people with the exact same stuff. Definitely something to think about.